Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the start for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one first, we're going to give our thoughts on the officially released synopsis for this season from AMC. Okay, getting back into the regular swing of things now that I've gotten out of the way most of the topics I wanted to do for Game of Thrones after this season ended, starting to focus more on Walking Dead because we're inching our way ever closer to the release for The Walking Dead Season 8. Very exciting next month, and of course this week being kind of back to school week, sort of officially. So those of you who are going back to school this semester, have a good semester, have fun, and don't get too wasted this week if you're in college or university. So here's the synopsis. I'll put it in the description, link to comicbook.com where they have it posted there. I want to thank Andy for sending it to me. And it's got, so The Walking Dead Season 8 synopsis revealed. In preparation for the premiere of The Walking Dead Season 8, AMC has released a new synopsis for the upcoming batch of episodes. It says, unlike the ramp-up to Season 7, fans aren't wondering about which member of Rick's group will be slaughtered by Negan to start the season. In fact, Season 8 promises almost the opposite. The Alexandria community is ready to flip the script and bring the fight to the Saviors in Season 8, and the new description of the 16-episode run teases just that. Here is the latest synopsis for Season 8 as posted to the AMC website. Last season, Rick Grimes and his group of survivors were confronted with their deadliest challenge yet. With the comfort of Alexandria, they let their guard down, only to be reminded how brutal the world they live in can be. Feeling powerless under Negan's rules and demands, Rick advocated the group to play along, but seeing that Negan couldn't be reasoned with, Rick began rallying together other communities affected by the Saviors, and with the support of the Hilltop and the Kingdom, they finally have enough firepower to contest these Saviors. This season, Rick brings all-out war to Negan and his forces. Yes, I love that. nice tag draw. That was good. The Saviors are larger, better equipped, and ruthless, but Rick and the unified communities are fighting for the promise of a brighter future. The battle lines are drawn as they launch into a kinetic, action-packed offensive. Yes, sounds good. Up until now, survival has been the focus of Rick and our group, but it's not enough. They have to fight to take back their freedom so that they can live, so that they can rebuild. As with any battle, there will be losses, casualties, but with Rick leading the Alexandria forces, Maggie leading the Hilltop, and King Ezekiel leading the Kingdom, Negan and the Savior's grip on this world may finally come to an end. Then the comments from comicbook.com says, the synopsis kicking off with unlike Season 7 is already a good start in the eyes of many fans of The Walking Dead who were frustrated with the most recent 16 episodes. Following a bullied Rick Grimes and watching members of Alexandria, Hilltop, and Kingdom communities die one by one with no consequences for their death, wore thin for many. Now, rather than Daryl being locked in a cell and tortured, he will rally with his fellow survivors. Fans have come to love through 99 episodes. So that's very cool. So I do like a lot of the things that are in the description here. Of course, the synopsis. Definitely the mention of all-out war is a huge one because I feel like it's kind of been, it's the elephant in the room that they haven't really mentioned. You watch the trailer and you get a sense that, okay, there's some stuff going on. There's some crazy shit going on, but is it a war, Season 7 ends off with the whole, war thing, right, getting started. Some other good confirmations in here is that the Saviors actually do, it looks like, have the advantage here, but Rick and the others have heart, which is you can't measure that, right? It's not something you can quantify. Even if the Saviors have the manpower and they have maybe the locations and the weapons, still Rick's got the others and he's got the belief, right? So that's important. And that is true also too that we did see a lot in Season 7 of the group kind of being bullied back or being bullied down by Negan and being under Negan's thumb. And because they chose to kind of show us the Season 7 premiere from the perspective of Rick, and as we've always followed Rick and the others through the series, we almost felt like as viewers that we were being oppressed as well too, and we were right there being under Negan's thumb as well. But in order for us to kind of fully appreciate All Out War and fully appreciate the reason why Rick and the others really have to fight back, I think they felt like it probably was necessary to make us, the viewer, feel like we were right there with them in their shoes, being oppressed by Negan too, which is not necessarily the most entertaining thing to watch, and why a lot of people might have really not liked seeing Rick and the others just, pushed down, being pushed around and everything, and and basically losing this part of this battle, the part of this war that is to come. So it should be a really awesome season. It's going to hit October 22nd, so heads up for that, guys. And don't forget that we do have the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 still to get to see with a double premiere and double finale, which should be fantastic to get us ready and started for The Walking Dead. So very excited, and I'm hoping this year goes better than last year. I'm hoping that more people are excited about The Walking Dead, more people are feeling positive about the series, and really get back into it more than last year, because season 7 was just so much complaining, man. It's like every week, and it just wore me down over the season. Like at the beginning, I was so amped, I was so excited. A lot of us were, and then by the time the season finished off in season 7, it was like I thought the finale was really good, and I just kept seeing so much, people not enjoying it. Which so hopefully this year they really bring it, and it turns things around, and people really enjoy it. That's what I'm hoping for, because that's fun, and it's no fun if we're just all complaining all the time. So so we'll see. So I got a few questions for today, or some comments, that kind of thing, to get my thoughts on. The first one was from Laser Cannon 7, who says, Trev, who do you think is more evil, the governor from Woodbury or Alpha and the Whisperers? So in terms of like Alpha as a villain, how evil is she, I suppose, is where you're asking, or compared to some of the others that we've seen. Alpha is ruthless, I want to say, because we should be seeing her at the beginning of season 9, roughly, or probably not the end of the season, probably season 9 at some point, because there's still a bit to get to before we get to Alpha and the Whisperers, unless they do some kind of show of showing them early. But Alpha is very brutal. She's very, very scary. In the comic book series, I won't give away too much here, but it's not like she just kills one person, or she cuts off one person's hand or something like that to prove a point. She kills like a dozen people to make a point, so she's pretty evil. In that way. She's simplified in other ways. She doesn't really care so much for maybe capturing people or torturing people or feeding them to zombie Miltons or things like that. She doesn't really seem to care much for that kind of stuff. We'll have to see what they do with the TV series version of Alpha. But, she's very evil. And I think the biggest thing about the Whisperers is the Whisperers are a great group of villains because they really bring the horror aspect to The Walking Dead. Whereas a lot of these other groups here, they can be fearsome, they can be intimidating. There was a lot of horror when Negan first showed up. But then you kind of get the sense afterwards that Negan's kind of a kidder, and yes, he's got these rules, and he kills people with a bat. But aside from that, most of the time he's screwing around, or at least joking around. So it's not like as bad, you know what I mean? It's not as scary. Whereas with the Whisperers, they'll just like cut your head off and put it on a spike, or they'll cut your skin off and wear it, like something brutal like that. So they're very scary, and I am excited to see Alpha, just this very vicious female villain that is super scary and is willing to do stuff like that. Because I think even the governor would lose his mind and would do stuff, but there's something savage about, he cut people's heads off too, so that's kind of tricky. But I guess you could argue that the governor is pretty damn evil as well too, for putting people's heads, zombie heads, in fish tanks and just sitting there watching it and stuff. That's pretty messed up as well too. But for some reason, I just think of Alpha as like just this killer, man. Really, really brutal. So we'll have to see for the TV series version there, Laser. But my hopes, I'm very excited to see what they do with the Whisperers and what they look like in the show. If they're done right, they should be the scariest group of villains we've ever seen. They should be even scarier than Negan, for sure, I want to say. A lot of people commented that for who should play Beta, because I did a video yesterday on who I think should play Beta in the Walking Dead TV series when he shows up. I did like a top 5, but a lot of people mentioned Tyler Mane as a good one. That's Tyler Mane. He played, I think, Sabretooth in X-Men. Is that right? In the X-Men movie, he's been in a ton of stuff too. So that's a really good suggestion as well too. He's one that I didn't think of for the top 5, but he does look a lot like somebody that could play Beta, and I think he's really tall too. I think he's like high 6, right? right? Almost close to like 7 foot tall or something like that. Really tall anyway. So yeah, he would be really good as well to play Beta. And check out the video if you missed it yesterday and who we think should play Beta. Dunny2K says, how would Beta work in the TV show? No one knows what Beta looks like, as he's always wearing his zombie skin mask. So it would ruin the surprise if they gave credit to the actor playing him, as we could Google what the actor looks like. They don't have to credit the actor, but wouldn't it be unfair to the actor or something? So with regards to Beta in the show, you're right that we don't really need to necessarily have a reputable actor for it. These are kind of like the video we did yesterday. It's kind of like, fan picks, that kind of thing. In a lot of cases, they probably just go with somebody we don't even know, just some big guy or whatever. But I do think that Beta is a very important character to get a good cast for. I do think it's definitely a good idea to get somebody who's really good for him. Just like you cast JDM for Negan, and they had a lot of people read for that part and what have you, and he's an amazing actor, been in so many different things. And he does do a really great job as Negan, I want to say, especially the smile and stuff. He's got that down for sure. So for somebody for Beta, you just really need somebody who's very, very big and very scary. That's the core element there. But he is a very important character, and of course in the TV series, you're probably going to expand on him a bit, give him a little bit more there. But as far as like that horror aspect, yeah, you definitely want to get somebody who's good. It doesn't really matter. A lot of people don't Google, who the actor is who plays. They rarely look at it. They'll definitely release who it is. I can't think of them hiding it, not showing who it actually is who played Beta. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. But it's got to be somebody big. It's got to be somebody scary. And I do think it's really important because we need to get that horror back in The Walking Dead sometimes. Sometimes we've got the brutality horror, but a lot of times, it doesn't feel as scary as it needs to. The Whispers are going to feel very, very scary if they do them right. And that's great because we haven't really seen a group like that since maybe the Terminus with the Hunters. They were really brutal with what they did, while the Whispers should be even scarier for sure. And that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you did like it, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share and favorite. And if you have any other questions you want to send me for Q&As leading up to the start for The Walking Dead Season 8, or if you're The Walking Dead Season 3 second half, then leave them below. That'll be it for this video, guys. See you again soon. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.